Hello everybody. Today I will be teaching a geomatics engineering concept that everybody is familiar with, known as GPS. You guys use it every single day, and I'm going to teach you guys on how you get your geospatial information from the satellites to find your actual location on Earth. So GPS stands for Global Positioning System. This is defined as a worldwide radio navigation system formed from a constellation of Earth orbiting satellites and their ground stations. It is for the purpose of defining geographic positions on and above the Earth's surface. GPS satellites uses a reference points to calculate positions with accuracies up to centimeters. So, to find the exact position of an object on Earth, there are 3 segments of GPS. And we're going to go into those 3 segments today and how those 3 segments help you find your actual location. So number 1 is the space segment, where this is known as the satellites or the space vehicles, which we will also be calling SVs. There are 24 to 32 satellites that orbit the Earth in a specific pattern, and this is called a constellation. Number 2 is the control segment. There are 3 different types of control segments. Number 1 is the master control, which this has the ability to control all the satellites. They schedule and steer the satellites that are up in space. Number 2 is the monitoring station, where this is where all of the signal tracking and atmospheric data is collected. And then number 3 is the ground antenna. This is where all the directed related information of the space vehicles that they send to command transmissions and navigate messages uploaded there. So now that we have our satellites in space, where there are 24 to 32 of them, and this is called the GPS space vehicles. We have our position on Earth, where we have the control station, and this is where we send some information to the space vehicles. And this is also where we send the commands to the space vehicles on what we want them to do. And then the satellites send us data back to the control stations. So now, the 3rd segment that we have is the user segment. So we have user segment, also known as the GPS receiver. Here is where we have all the information sent from the satellites over here to the receiver. How this information is processed from the receiver is called a block diagram. So I'm going to show you guys a simplified version of the block diagram where we have information sent to the antenna. That information goes through a converter, then goes through a code, and then inputs the end results on what the information that we're looking for. Before we get that, there's also the clock, which is used from the atomic clock, sends information to the converter, goes through the code, and we get our end results. The end results that we're looking for, we get the position, the velocity, and the time. So all this information from the satellites are sent to our receiver. So if we go back to everything that we covered for GPS, is we started off with the GPS, known as Global Positioning System. There are 3 segments of the GPS: space, satellite, space, control, user, and we get this end product of how we get our information from satellites, control station, and the receiver. And that's everything. Thank you.